Um, Call the meeting to order. I guess we'll start with welcoming Jessica and introduce ourselves, and we'll let you start.
Okay, I am KVCOG Senior Planner. I've been with KVCOG for about 2.5 years. I'm originally from Connecticut, although I don't admit that frequently, where I did planning work in my previous job there. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to work with you guys. I don't live that far from here, so this is a nice change.
Well, we appreciate your guidance. I'm
you.
Jean Lancaster, I'm the chair.
I'm Charlotte Curtis, I'm the secretary.
Jack Farren. I mean, whatever, vice chair, I guess. Real title.
And I know Richard.
Okay, so the next item would be to review and approve the minutes from the September 12th meeting.
Make the motion, so move.
You moved to accept them.
Yeah.
Should I, since I didn't do them, but I was at the meeting? Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? And then we'll move on to the new business, which is the discussion on our shoreline zoning and subdivision ordinances.
Okay. So I don't have anything to go over with you. I have began the shoreline zoning ordinance updates. It's pretty straightforward. It doesn't look like they were updated all that long ago. It looks like with the most recent revision, that's the biggest change. I do have one question. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought a very small part of North Pond was in Norridgewock.
No,
Mhm.
very small part of the North Pond watershed,
That's what it is. Okay. All right.
Outer Oak Hill,
What's that?
Outer Oak Hill Road is
Okay.
in the North Pond
All right.
watershed.
Yeah, usually would say just a little brook or something.
It's just the way of the land,
Yeah.
so it slopes towards North Pond, it's Bella Measy's, Belgoyne's old land.
Okay. So there are no great ponds in Norridgewock, is that
Correct.
okay? That was the only thing that I kept getting hung up on. I remember, I did some work related to North Pond and I was like almost positive, and then I did a little bit of research and I couldn't find any, but I just wanted to make sure. I should, barring any unforeseen incidents, I should have an amended version of that ordinance for you. Ideally by the end of next week, but I'm gonna say probably more likely give me 2 weeks. How frequently do you all meet?
Once a month,
Okay. Oh, that works.
that works great.
Yeah. This,
Now, are you talking about the shoreline zoning or that's
shoreline.
what you're doing right now?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm starting with that one. And there was a bit of a backlog before I had a chance to even dig into any of them, so.
good.
But we are hiring another planner, so I should be able to focus more on that at some point here. But yeah, I mean, it's going smoothly. Like I said, your ordinance is not in bad shape. I've seen them where they were written on a typewriter and you can't even scan it and convert it to a Word document, so it's in good shape.
Even though it's 30 years old.
It
Yeah.
doesn't look like it. It's been, I don't know,
30,
It's from the 90s, isn't it?
I think originally
I
it
thought
was.
it was like 2006 or something.
That was your subdivision ordinance is 2006. Our shoreline zoning was enacted in 08. Okay, so that was probably. But I swear there was something in here.
I know it was when we did.
So I think you're thinking of the original state guidelines was adopted in, I think 92.
Yeah, no, the shoreline was March of, oh wait, you're right.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have a shoreline zoning map. Is there one on your website?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
But KV Cog
KV Cog did it?
did it and it
Okay.
is digitized and it is on, it's a layer of our Access GIS website,
Oh,
which is on the website.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Well, it would be really helpful to have. Well, how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to send you guys all versions of this when it's complete and you can look it over? Or just wait until the following meeting and I can present it? What's the best course of action?
Personally, I like to look something over before,
Yeah, me
even
too, I
before,
understand.
even if you present it, just even
I
just to have to get an idea of it before the
Okay.
meeting, that would be great.
Okay, so when I finish it, can I email it to you and you can distribute it?
Yep,
Okay,
yeah, I think if we can get that and then that would make a more productive December meeting and not to rush it. If it gets rushed, we just won't do it, but if we can get it done in December, January, the absolute latest, then we could consider enacting it in March.
In March.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So at least
Yeah.
we're showing some progress.
well, in a perfect world, I'd like to get the subdivision done too. I haven't had a chance to dig into that, so I don't know. But that's not all that old
it's,
either. I,
No, like that was probably the ordinance that really started all of this. We know the shorelines are changes constantly and it almost needs to be updated every year or two because of the changing regulations of the state and we just haven't. The subdivision ordinance that we have. A lot of it focuses on assuming that it's land subdivision. As opposed to a home or a structure that's then being split out into multiple units. And that's
oh, I understand what you're saying.
right, so we just went through an application 4 months ago for building down here, it used to be a 2-unit. It was a single family dwelling, but it was 2 units,
Yeah,
now they're gonna go to 4. And so as we went through that subdivision ordinance, we're finding things are completely irrelevant.
huh, okay,
And concerns that folks had weren't included in that ordinance. When we started looking at the actual subdivision buildings,
okay,
creating those multiple units, which becomes, I think, more relevant when we start talking about housing developments and whatnot.
yes.
Taking these large historic single family homes and splitting them out into 3 units, and they've got to come here.
Hmm.
So I don't think candidly that that's gonna be something that we'll probably have ready for March, because that will,
No,
Take
put
more.
like that, no,
Right.
you're probably right.
but the shoreline is really about just aligning it with
The
where the
state.
state regulations are
Yeah.
and understanding that we're not on a great pond, we're on a river.
And there was nothing in here about great ponds, but I was. I thought there was the North Pond, but yeah, now that you say that, I do remember that it's part of the watershed. As far as the shoreline zoning ordinance, I'm not finding a lot that's all that different than the state guidelines. When you guys did this before, I don't know if any of you were involved in the
I
process.
wasn't.
And what, making that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was the one that typed it in.
oh. So you know it
And
well.
the subdivision.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot that's that different from the state, the minimum requirements of the state. Do you remember if there was any portions that were changed or made more restrictive? It's no big deal,
Well,
I'll find it as I go
I'll
through
have
it,
to
it's
look
not.
it over, but
When you're looking at things like volume, expansion by volume as opposed to square footage. and the
No,
state
no,
changes
like
that.
yes, that's one of the big changes
Right.
from the state. No, I don't know if you guys have anything that extra layers of protection that are, more strict than state requirements. If you don't know off the top, it's fine.
We had, meetings with reps from Katie Cobb when we did both of them.
Okay,
So it should be for its time. Pretty
okay.
good.
That sounds good.
Does the board have a sentiment as to whether you think that restrictions above and beyond the state's rules would be something that voters would have power for, or do you just say state rules are satisfactory? Let's move with that. Do you have stricter rules that you have in mind that you want to see in this ordinance?
I don't,
I don't
I
either.
don't, I thought it'd be important to be in line with the state.
This one enforced.
I don't think that there's a palette for it.
No, we don't seem to have no big,
It's on the river, and I think people largely look at the river. A lot of development along the river has just gone by the wayside, and they do what they do. But it's shoreland and it's floodplain, no matter how you slice it.
Right.
So it's becoming more and more relevant as people want to build on the river.
Right. I think aligning with the state is,
Sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be hard pressed to get it approved with more stringent requirements.
mhm.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
they knocked that dam out to be in any development on the river, which I don't think that's gonna happen, but there's stranger things that could happen. They've done crazier things.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
things are, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that was kind of all the questions I had for everybody.
Are we good to move on to
I
the,
think so.
okay, well, just to add, feel free to reach out if you do have, come up with any
Yes,
questions,
I
and
definitely will.
Richard will help you.
Thank you. If that's kind of it for me. Okay, well,
Well, thank you.
thank you. And do you guys want my card or? I don't know if that's necessary.
You will,
Yeah, he knows how to get a hold of me.
he knows how to get in touch
Yes.
with everybody.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. It was nice to meet you all.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
So our next item is to discuss the 2025 budget.
What you can see in your 2024 actual column is what's been posted year to date. That's $70 in training expense, and that's it. You folks had requested money for professional services
Mhm.
as this tonight, and the proposal, the estimate that was provided by KB Cog, which is their time allocation, was estimated at more than that.
Thank you
Take
guys.
care.
Thank you. You too.
The select board approved the funds out of contingency to pay for this. It would be my inclination to pay that $1,000 before year end out of your own budget.
Yes, yeah.
So it better represents in total budget picture
Right.
what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And then I would say, keep in mind that next year, we're gonna have the back end of this payment, it's gonna overlap and drop into 25. And then if you decide you wanna move with a different ordinance or just, stay put, those are obviously your big drivers. The $500 in legal expense, that's really just for them to take a look at these ordinances.
Mhm.
To pull holes in them or make sure that they're defendable, because our attorneys, obviously, if we end up in court. have to
Have to
defend
do
them.
it, yeah.
So, obviously, those are your big tickets and,
Do you think that we should increase that $1,000, anticipating more ordinances being reviewed?
yes, yeah, I think that's reasonable. This contract was about, was it 3,000?
Yeah,
Yeah.
3,200, I think, yeah.
2,800, I think.
I can't remember exactly, but let's say it was 3,000.
Mhm. So that's 1,500 per ordinance.
Right, so you'd probably have 1,500 on next year for current cycle, and then you did another one, 1,500 on the next one.
Okay,
Um,
so increase it from 1,000 to 1,500 for 2025.
if you only wanna finish this project out,
Uh-huh,
is two, then 1,500, but if you wanted to add a second one, I mean.
3,000.
3,000.
okay,
That sounds reasonable. I do want to say that you need to have a lot in here for the training. Cause I'm leaving.
What?
Are you leaving?
No, I'm not up there. I think I have another year left.
Oh, okay,
I think.
You're not, I don't believe you're up.
No, I don't think so.
okay.
But it's a great for people.
Have you been getting training in?
yes, I have.
Did
Yeah.
you?
What do you? I'm gonna mind, keep going.
And I mean, it's kind of difficult, it's a lot of learn as you go,
Mhm,
just because of our
Well,
specific ordinances. But
yeah,
if you ever found an opportunity where you wanted to bring somebody in, or, you know, something that's not municipal association, but something else, there's opportunity for that too.
So we want to put how much in professional services?
we want to increase that to 3,000. Professional services.
Okay. 3,000,
Well, we should take a vote, right?
I put it all together, I mean, do you have a position on that?
No, it's different than.
Yeah.
Okay,
and what about legal?
depends on what comes up,
Right.
right? Maybe we stay with the 500 and see how the year goes,
Right, this would be the
2026.
second year that you had not incurred any legal expense.
right?
I mean, at the end of the day. This legal money initially was requested to review ordinances, not defend the board.
Okay, is everybody okay with staying with the 500? Believe it?
Yeah, I think so. I am anyway.
Okay. So if we keep everything the same, other than increasing the professional services, that would, total out to $4,200 for, the 2025 budget request?
Well. Who pays for this board to get the town and city?
That's included in our membership.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only question that I have on the actuals is the postage, and that must be just getting billed to admin. But your packets, when I do mail out hard copy packets, that should be billed to you folks in the future, but. So I would just ask that you carry that $100 forward
Mhm.
on that. And then that $50 office supply, that's binder and probably print expense for a new ordinance book for a new member or whatnot.
Okay.
I'm sure if you're not intending to run, anybody and everybody, it would be helpful if we sought folks out. Obviously, it's a more technical board.
Fine. Have some ideas?
No, I don't have anything to do with elections. except-
No, I know.
Right? If anybody that's interested, papers come out on the 22nd
This,
Um,
this
November.
really? Well, that's good to know.
So 4,200 you came up with?
Yes, 4,200.
You wanna make a motion?
I make a motion, we put 4,200 in next year's budget.
And I will second it.
All in favor? Okay. So there's no public comment. Is there any other business?
The only thing I have is plan on a December meeting. I've got, well, we probably, hopefully Katie Cog will have something for you folks to work on, but then also I think we're gonna have a modification to a subdivision. Come before, it should be a slight modification, hopefully a single meeting will do it. We'll be merging two lots. Within a subdivision, so it'll necessarily reduce the value, but give those landowner the ability to do what they want with the land. And it should have a positive impact on all the others, so should be pretty clean cut, but I expect to see that.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.